into Instagram. Oh, yes, we've got Graham. We just thought it was me and Sally plus the internet, but Graham's here. Good morning, Graham. You're here. You're good. We're going to have a little bit of motivation. Oh, Christine's here as well. That's good. I think we all need a bit of Monday motivation. We should be live. Yeah, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. Yeah, let's do a little bit of Monday motivation. We'll do our usual joint mobility, warm up, etc. And then I think we'll look a little bit again at the more active breath work. We'll have a little bit of a look at breath of fire just to get the energy flowing. First thing in the morning, particularly first thing in a Monday morning. Let's take our feet shoulder width apart. Make sure you've got space forwards and back and side to side. And just get nice and supported and stable on the ground. Feet connected to the ground. Tall through the spine. Pelvis balanced. And then remember that working through the ground, drawing the heels just gently towards the center line, softening into the ankles, softening into the knees. Breathing easy in and out through the nose. My upper back and shoulders particularly feel a little bit tight this morning. So again, find any spots where you might feel a little bit of tightness. And the idea is not to force into those areas, it's just to allow the movement, allow the lengthening of the ligaments, the tendons, the muscles, the fascia. Breathing easy. Slow it down into water waves. And just have a little bit of a shake out. Suddenly the light has changed and I've gone into silhouette again. Couple of different variations on that one. Next one, we go same distance apart, but as we rotate, we're going to shift the weight to the side we're rotating to, so that opposite heel peels off the ground. So we just do a little bit of a weight shift. Now make sure you've got good space between the feet. If you're too close together, it's going to feel really weird. So make sure you've got nice space in between the feet, shifting the weight. Ball of the foot still stays connected. So the heel you're peeling off the ground, feel that mobility in the ankle. Feel the ball of the foot connecting into the ground as well. And then just back to both feet balancing on the ground and into waterways. Have a little shake out. And then we're going to go a little bit wider apart. If this is a little bit challenging, if you feel a little bit too tight in the hips, choose either this one or our standard one where you just got the feet in contact with the ground. If you want to go a little bit wider apart, this is so we're deliberately shifting the weight side to side. And again, just that little bit of a peel the heel off the ground. Now notice when we're doing this, my spine stays on top of the pelvis. I'm not leaning over as I shift. So the spine stays balanced on top of the pelvis. If peeling the heel feels a little bit challenging, you can just keep the feet solid on the ground, just mixing it up a little bit. And then shake it out, bring the feet together. Come to standing. Balance. And a little bit of dog wags the tail. Remember on this one, we're freeing up the spine so we get that ripple through the spine, through the lower back, through the mid back, upper back, and neck. And have a little bit of a shake out. Let's do some arm stretches. So stretching that arm line, going to clap as if you're about to clap. Fingers down, wrists flexed, and then big circles, clap, down, scoop around. Really stretch through the fingers and the wrists on this one. Get that spiral going through the wrists, the elbows, and the shoulders. Just breathing easy with it. Change direction. Stretch out. It's like pushing walls out to the side. Keep the shoulders relaxed and down, strong and down. And shake out. Let's do some shoulder rolls. So lifting up, back and round, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Get the spine involved as well. So there's that little rounding there of the upper back and then lifting the sternum up towards the sky. So that spine is involved as well. Make sure you've got a nice stable base to stand on as you're doing all of this. Change direction. And then give a little bit of shake out on the shoulders. Let's go hips. So again, remembering we're shoulder width apart. Let's aim for parallel feet. If that feels a bit odd, have the feet slightly turned out. But if you can aim for parallel feet and then drop the hip to one side or the hips to one side, back, other side, hips forwards. Remember that, just like a little bit of lift through the sternum. Keep the feet flat onto the ground. Not gripping with the toes, so you can spread the toes a little bit. Just keep that connection through the heels, the ball of the foot. Going to the other direction. Good. Have a little bit of a shake out. Take a moment to stand. Bring your feet fist width apart now. A little bit of balance and a little bit of leg swing. If you feel you need something to physically hold on to, please do feel free to get something to physically hold on to. Or if it helps to balance, remember the idea of those two tigers. So you don't want to be pressing down on the heads, but you're just balancing on those two tiger heads. I'll mirror you. We're going to stabilize on the right leg, and you're just going to swing. Make sure you have got space behind you to swing, that you don't whack your heel on anything here. Just swinging that leg. Remember to keep lifting tall through the spine. Doesn't matter if you wobble or fall, as long as it's safe. Don't want you falling over. But here's your brain learning, making sure you're breathing in and out through the nose too. And take a rest, have a little shake out. The other thing, the really subtle thing I want you to focus on, this is what I've been playing around with at the weekend, I'll go this side actually first, is we're focusing on swinging this leg, but there is a subtle, and I'm exaggerating, is there is that subtle tilt with that upper body. Now, I don't want you to go, oh, I'm going to fall back, but I want you to feel that almost like that elasticity, even though you're lifting up, is there's this little spring through the support side as well. So I can feel it into the back there. I'm much tighter on this right side. So when I do the right side, although I'm nice and solid and strong on that right side and I can swing this left leg, I find it much more difficult to feel that sort of like freedom of that elasticity through the right side. So that's a really nuanced focus. We often just focus on being really solid through that support side. See if you can free it up a little bit. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And then have a little shake out. Let's do the leg swing across as well. So back onto the other side. What is good about this position as well, it brings the shoulders down. So if you think about, you've got your hands on those two tiger heads, you're not going to go, oh, I'm just going to lift my shoulders up. Those shoulders come down nice and strong, balance, and this time we're just swinging across the body. Across the front. Breathing in and out through the nose. And take a rest. Balance. Stabilize. Support through the opposite side and swing across. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And take a rest, have a little bit of a shake. Let's do ankles and feet. So again, we'll go onto the opposite side, balance. Forwards, let's do flexion. Dorsiflexion, where you bring the toes towards the shin. Plantar flexion, where you're stretching the toes, pointing the toes. So just flex foot. Then you can use the tigers if you want to use the tigers. Spreading the toes. And then let's do some ankle circles. The other way around. And then shake out that foot. Good shake. Swapping sides, balance first. Go for your flexing. Feel how it works down the leg as well, the calf muscle. And then rotation. Spreading the toes. Opposite direction. And then shake out. Let's do a spine wave. So here we keep the legs pretty much straight to start with. You've got a softness in the knee, but you're tilting forwards, tilting the pelvis forwards, chest stays lifted, chin stays lifted until you get to the point where you go, yeah, I can really feel that lengthening out the whole of my back line. Then you can soften the knees and then straighten the legs to roll up. Just get a nice distance as well. You might want to go a little bit wider. I prefer it a little bit wider here. And same thing. So tilting the pelvis first. Keep that sternum lifted, lifted, lifted. Keep the chin lifted, and then you'll feel the hamstrings kicking in there going, oh yeah, I like that. And then roll down, bend the knees. And then you're doing a spine roll up vertebra by vertebra. It goes without saying, if any of this hurts, stop. Remember, we're not forcing anything here. Nice smooth movements. You can stop at any point. You can return at any point. Do a couple more. Nice, and then come to standing. Bring your feet back to a comfortable hip width. Let's do a bit of the washing machine. So alternate heels, just tapping into the ground. Feel that vibration coming up the body. And then you can maybe tap the heels into the ground. Really let the shoulders go, using the legs as pumps, the arms as pumps. So start to use the arms. And what I'd like you to do with the breath with this is each time you tap the ground, just feel of the breath coming out. So I'm going to make a sound with this. You don't have to make a sound. It can be just through the nose if you want, but just so that you get that. So you're feeling each time you tap into the ground that it's just gently pushing the breath out. I'm not forcing, I'm not going, not forcing, just feel that tap. And if you want to do it with a bit of sand to start off with, and then just keep it soft through the nose. So you're just feeling the contact with the ground, just gently pushing the breath. And then slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Stand with the palms facing forwards. Let that breath settle. You may feel the next breath, the next couple of breaths are bigger because you're slowing the breath down. By slowing the breath down, by extending that exhale, you're slowing the heart rate down. And then you should find that your breath rate just settles back quite quickly to a comfortable, steady rhythm. And this is important to realize. It's remembering why or how our breath responds to a particular activity. So we're just using the breath there to help sort of like energize the system. I'm not over breathing, but I'm just breathing very short, quick breaths as I'm hitting the ground. And then you will naturally want to do a nice big breath to calm. Now that's perfect because it's actually helping to slow the heart rate. But then what you want to do is you want to feel that breath rate come back to a steady pace straight afterwards. We don't want to get to that point where we're like, oh my God, I'm out of breath. And then you're trying to catch up with the breath. Let's do a little bit of focus on that diaphragm. So very much as we were doing a bit of shaking there, you were getting the diaphragm to help almost like flutter and activate with the breath. Now we're going to consciously do that. So if you want to put your hand near the diaphragm on the belly, that's absolutely fine. We're going to take a breath in through the nose, and then you're going to blow out a candle. And then the same thing, just let it happen naturally. Breath in through the nose. Gently blow out a candle. So you're slowing the exhale and you're using the diaphragm you're bringing that diaphragm back up into that resting position. So quite often when we're doing sort of like blowing out a candle, you can catch all the breath up here. So you can go, but everything's up here. I want you to really focus on actively bringing that diaphragm back up into the rib cage, back up into the resting position. If we're out of alignment, if we're in strange positions like this, diaphragm is stuck. So you want to make sure the ribs are balanced over the pelvis so that when you breathe in, diaphragm gently moves down, you feel the ribs expand. And then we blow out the candle. It's often, I think in Pilates, it's often cued as bringing your belly button towards the spine. And I want to be a little bit more subtle than that. I want you to think not just using these abdominal muscles to pull everything in. I want you to think of, right, I am bringing that diaphragm back. Let's do a couple more. Soft, easy breath in. And then just gentle breath out. And then just go back to rhythmical breathing. We don't want to do too many of that because particularly if we're standing and we're not creating CO2 or creating a lot of CO2, if we start to do big breaths a long period of time as we're standing or sitting, then we can disturb the balance of our CO2 and oxygen. We can lower the CO2, which is why we start to feel a little bit dizzy. But here, because we're doing it nice and slow, we're doing it nice and steady, we're just playing around with this diaphragm activation. Let us go now into shoulder width apart with the feet, and we're just going to rest on the thighs. So you've got that idea of being able to breathe here into the back of the body, so into the base of the ribs. And I'd like you to do the same. Make sure you rest on the thighs, not on the knees. Just get nice and solid on the thighs. Have a little bit of softness in the elbows. Breathe into the back, calm, easy breath into the back. And then same thing with the diaphragm. Extending that exhale, light breath out. Maybe add a little pause at the bottom of the breath, so you're just keeping that diaphragm sitting back up in the ribs. And then you'll really feel the diaphragm move, the ribs expand as you take that next breath in. Let's do one more. And then just slowly come up to standing. If you start to feel dizzy at all as you're doing this, do stop. The next one, we're going to do a bit more active breath, that breath of fire. So again, just be conscious of contraindications. If you're pregnant, I would avoid doing this particular breathing practice. High blood pressure, low blood pressure, any cardiovascular issues, just take it steady. We're not forcing stuff here. I don't want you to push and force anything. So we're going to go into water buffalo position. So we start in this position, and then you just let your arms hang. And let's go, if you can go a little bit lower, just free up the shoulders. So you're really sitting into that squat position. And we're just going to do like short, sharp, very much like you were feeling when we were tapping the heels onto the ground. Let's do 10, then we'll do a long one and a hold, and then we'll stand up and breathe in. We have got 1 minute. So let's just do one round of breath of fire. So gentle breath in, breathe into the back, and 10. Long one out, hold, breathe in as you come up to standing. Actually, we've got to do one more. I can't just do one. Let's go back down into water buffalo so you can rest there. Let's go a little bit lower. And gentle breath in. And breath of fire. Pause for a few beats at the bottom. Then when you're comfortable, standing up, breathing in. Let's do pulling down as you breathe in. Breathe out. So just gentle diaphragm activation. You don't have to do anything forced. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then just moving into a little bit of bamboo in the wind when you're ready, just to finish off. Lovely. And then taking a calm breath in through the nose. Opening your eyes, stepping out, a little bit of a brush down. And a little bit of a shake out. So remember doing those particular practices, breathing practices, where we're deliberately putting ourselves into more sympathetic drive. But you're doing it in a safe way, you're doing it controlled. We're not forcing, we're not pushing, we're just exploring how we can activate that diaphragm, use a more active exhale with the diaphragm. Hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions, as always, please do come back to me. If you've got any requests, anything you want to do on these Monday and Wednesday sessions, then please come back to me too with those. Otherwise, thanks as always for joining, and I will see you on Wednesday. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.